The sound of taps, salutes, and speeches.
It's an honor to recognize and celebrate our Oregon veterans and their families.
Common ways that our society and our state honor those who fought for our country. But despite the show of respect, the most recent point-in-time count says more than 1,400 of Oregon's veterans spend any given night in shelters or on the streets. And until recently, Joseph Marbury and Harold Stallworth were two of them.
So I've been living out of my car for most of the time.
I didn't have the money to get into a place.
Harold served in the military for 2 years, and Joseph served for 5, landing him with extensive back injuries. After living out the worst-case scenario and desperate to get back on their feet, they came across an opportunity they couldn't pass up.
Now, of course, I was elated initially. I mean, to hear about the program, it was a relief. Get to get out of the car and have a place, 4 walls.
The Hugo, advertised as a beautiful facility, delivering mental health and substance abuse services, private rooms, and connection to food and medical benefits. It's run by the Eugene-based Veterans Services nonprofit, the Reveille Foundation, and funded through VA grants. But when veterans started to move in back in May, it didn't take long for the bleak reality to set in.
That's black mold. That's nasty. That's been in my ceiling and dripping down onto my food.
Leaky pipes and mold, not just in the ceilings.
The mold has got into the silicone and you can't get it out.
And even worse in other rooms. Creating a health risk for residents like Joseph, a 2-time cancer survivor.
And am I getting any kind of residual things that are harming my body?
On top of that, the boiler was broken all year until just recently, leaving the veterans in sweltering summer heat or freezing winter conditions, with very little relief.
That's the space heater that they gave us.
And that's not to mention the food.
We have residents here who have no access to food, no access to cooking.
Former intern Lucy is a student in the University of California's social work program, and she says the kitchen's fire safety concerns meant it was open only a few hours a day with a supervisor present. And with only a crock pot and a single hot plate, there was no way for all 23 residents to be fed. In recent weeks, the kitchen was shut down entirely.
Multiple residents are going hungry here. There was a recent report of a disabled Vietnam veteran who was going door to door begging for food. He hadn't eaten in 2 days.
We took all these concerns straight to Reveille Foundation CEO Steve Yamamori.
How did things end up this way at this location?
What we want to do is to make sure that we remediate any issues that are going on.
Yamamori tells me he wasn't aware of the lack of food until recent weeks, and says his team hasn't found evidence of rodents or water leak issues. But the VA tells me they performed 3 reviews this year, and they found water damage, evidence of a rodent infestation, and lack of heating throughout the building. They issued a high-risk corrective action plan to the foundation, saying they're not living up to their grant agreements, which include a guaranteed connection to 3 meals a day, 24-hour on-property management, and training for employees on suicide prevention and equity and inclusion.
After they did perform those reviews, why haven't things been fixed until this point?
We're not finding some of those issues. And so, but we're taking them all very seriously. And unfortunately, what I will say is that communication on my part, we need to increase that communication.
Since the foundation opened the doors back in May, they've received around $2,000 a month per veteran through the VA's Grants Per Diem program. And with up to 23 veterans, that comes out to around $320,000 taxpayer dollars in total this year. The VA told Fox 12 they are, quote, taking swift action to relocate them after identifying serious health and safety concerns. And their top priority is to safeguard their well-being while continuing to support their transition to stable housing. And they gave the Reveille Foundation until the end of the year to fix the issues, or else that grant funding will be pulled. Yamamori tells Fox 12 he'll meet that deadline. But some of the veterans say all their new worries about housing have pushed them to dangerous places.
These residents are traumatized. We have had residents who have been admitted to the hospital since with suicidal ideations and no support.
I am disappointed with the VA because I would have rather seen us be able to take care of these issues without moving people out. And because it is a triggering thing for them.
Do you feel at all that you've let these veterans down with the standards that they've been living in?
The standards that I would like to see for our veterans can be improved, but that's our commitment.
For those veterans like Joe and Harold, the stable future and fresh start they hope to gain through the program is now on shaky ground.
To figure out that, you've kind of been violated on just about every front, it's disheartening.
I felt like here I'm stuck in a rut, and now I'm actually moving forward. And now I feel like I'm going right back to being stuck in that rut.